Yeah, CJ Email coming to you here today on September 4th, 2024. I hope everybody's having a great day out there so far in the wee early hours of the morning. You might hear my rooster going off in the background. Sorry about that. Okay, guys, I got a video for you. John Williams. John Williams is a good guy to subscribe to get his content. He always, brings up factual facts to the arguments and this, that, and the other. And the video he put out yesterday or a couple of days ago was about these migrants. Now we're starting to see in a few places in our country now where migrants are ganging up and they're just going and taking over apartment complexes, condos, and other things, guys. All right. And this should be a very huge alarm. This is getting serious. Imagine if you lived in one of those apartments, you and your wife, and you got 2 kids, and you're living there, and some people pull up with some guns and tell you to leave right now, and you can't take anything with you. You got to leave all your possessions. You may have, $5,000 of your life savings in a safe. You might have gold, jewelry, all kinds of valuables, and you just got to leave. Or you got to come up with some money and pay us every month. Now when that deal went down in Aurora, Colorado, the 30 migrants, or whatever it was, I forget how many it was there. There's another one that went on in Chicago. I know they said there's 30 migrants there that took over some apartments. But, Aurora, that's one of the places where one of the mass shootings happened, right, at one of the schools. And this should be a huge warning. And I'm going to tell you right now that if you don't want your country taken over, if you don't want your city, your county, maybe even your home, your apartment, your condo taken over by some illegals here that, apparently there was a video, I didn't watch it, that said that the head mob boss there of the gang in Colorado had been arrested. Well, why is it just one guy, right? And so the police departments are not set up to deal with these issues, guys. There's no way that they can deal with 30 armed people that just pull up somewhere and decide to put their will on somebody, on a group of people. And so in this video, you're going to see, I did a video on this 3-4 months ago. I've been saying this all along. This has been a huge alarm going off for decades. I've been doing videos on illegal immigration. I've been contacting senators and representatives for over 25 years, guys, to try to get this illegal immigration stopped, to get the border closed. I've been part of some groups that really put the pressure on the politicians every time they want to come up with amnesty. And these groups have had a major role in stopping the amnesty. But we haven't been able to get the border closed. But if you don't want this coming to a town near you, a city near you, if you don't want your country turning into the UK or Germany or any of these countries where they are paying the illegals now to come in. See, when all this first started happening again big, when Biden got in, I said, well, why are all these people coming here? There's not, that great of opportunity here. So they got to be paying these people to travel thousands of miles to come into our country. And it has to be big money. Nobody's going to drop their lives in their country, everything they've ever known and worked for in their country. They're not going to drop it and come here for a couple of $1,000. It just isn't going to happen. And then we got the reports, 3, 4, 5 months ago. I did a video on this where we found out that the Biden administration has been flying to over 120 countries around the world and picking up jets, jumbo jets full of migrants, and they bring them here. And now we've already all seen the receipts, and the sheriff found a bunch of government debit cards that they were giving the illegals as soon as they crossed over into our country. Some of these flights cost, thousands of dollars per person per illegal here, and they're paying that. Then as soon as they get here, they give them $5,000 card.
We have our government giving people that came into this country illegally $5,000 gift cards. Hey folks, Sheriff Lamb here. So I got a truth bomb for you. We see all these people coming across, mostly military-age men coming from China, from Africa, from all over the world. Most of them not even being vetted when they come in here. But here's what's really going to bother you. When these folks come across and they're processed, they're being given a cell phone, a plane ticket to wherever they want to go in this country, so probably to a community near you, and a $5,000 Visa card. So while this Christmas season, you're struggling to keep your lights on, while you're struggling to pay your rent, put Christmas presents under the tree for your kids, We have our government giving people that came into this country illegally $5,000 gift cards.
And much more in some places. But you'll see this video where this woman says that they were getting $5,000 to $15,000 as soon as they got here. They are getting $5,000 every month. The government tells them, hey, we're going to put you in these fast-track education programs. We're going to give you language, teach you how to speak language and da-da-da. And we're going to put you in these fast-track college programs where you can, basically get a little college degree here and either a trade, heating and air conditioning, construction, computer sciences, all, practically a lot of industries where, these industries are some of the only industries that seem to be doing well for the American worker out here. And so what they do is they put them up, give them the housing, give them the $5,000 a month, give them the health care, give them the free education. I mean, my son can't go up here to a local college and say, hey, you know what, I want to get a degree in civil engineering. How about, you just let me get that for free? No, they want to charge him $20,000 or $30,000, right? See, the American people, we got to pay. We can't get anything. And so they're giving all these people all the education, all the money, and then they'll put them up for 2 or 3 years until they can finally land a job and pay all their bills and all that, and gradually move over to their own, self-supporting system here. That could be 2, 3, 4 years. So we're gonna pay them the $250,000 or even more. By the time you add up all the benefits, all the money they're giving them, the free education, and all the other resources that they're getting, over 4 years, that could be $250,000, $300,000 per person. And the American people are broke. The American people are hurting. If somebody's getting $5,000 a month, do you think that person can undercut you in the workforce? Do you think that person can go out here and buy a used truck and start up a construction or home improvement business? Because, they're getting $5,000 a month right off the get-go. They don't have to go out here and really charge much. And so there's going to be a lot of people put out of business. I've seen this 3 times in my life over the last 20-something years. These people come in by the tens of millions. They slump the workforce, and pretty soon all the American small businesses out here, they just can't compete because they're not getting the free money, the free handouts, the free education, the free health care, the free housing, the free power, the free everything here. And it's going to happen again. It's already happening, but it's going to happen on a much bigger scale than it's going on now. So here's a video.
What this lady said, they're probably treated best here. Listen to this. 15,000 in food stamps and $5,000 cash money a month. Think about that. A month. I was in Denver about a month ago, and I heard that, a lot has changed in Denver, and I heard about this hotel that's essentially been rented. The entire hotel has been rented and turned into housing. So I went and I interviewed a family, and this family is also from Venezuela. And I asked them, tell me a little bit about how this entire situation works. And they told me, hey, John, we had a translator. They said, John, we get paid monthly, we get shelter, we get food, and then they put us essentially through college for free. And it's a 6-month, training, like a college, type of experience. And they'll teach you whatever you want to learn, whether it be construction, whether it be computer science, whatever you want to do, they're going to teach you. And they have a list of 5 or 6 different fields that you can choose from. And then after that, then they help you get on your feet, and they'll help cover some of the costs until you're eventually on your own. Eventually, that's what they said, right? So,
All right, guys, we see in the video all the things these people are getting. And then to top it off, they did this last time. We had a huge wave of illegal immigrants where all the employers got $10,000 per head for every immigrant they hired. It didn't matter if they were illegal or whatever, right?
Eventually, that's what they said, right? So when you see this amount of money flowing, and then you look at where this is all going to be going next, you'll realize where this is going to be going for U.S. jobs. People that come to America qualify for something called a WOTC tax credit, a work opportunity tax credit, which allows companies to write off upwards of $9,600 per year per employee. Think about that, almost $10,000 per employee. When you look at where Americans are, they're to the teeth in debt right now. Auto loan debt, credit card debt, mortgage debt. They can't, 80% people can't afford to go through a fast food drive-through, right? So When people come to America and they say, look, we don't have any of that debt. In fact, we can work for less. And you'll qualify for a $9,600 per year write-off by hiring us. What's going to happen? Big corporations are going to jump on that opportunity. A lot of businesses are going to jump on that opportunity. And so you imagine, what does this mean for construction labor? What does this mean for, drivers? What does this mean for all these different, landscaping jobs and all these different fields that are manual labor, right? You're going to start to see a race to the bottom.
So there's another disadvantage for the American people. In the last 4 years, the American people have not got jobs. All the new jobs, the real new jobs that's been created, have went to foreigners. And why are they going to foreigners? They're going to foreigners because the corporations get huge tax breaks to hire them. So why would I pay somebody $40,000, $50,000 a year, an American, when I can pay somebody $35,000? We're going to get a $10,000 tax break, and we get to pay the employee, the foreign employee, less because they're getting $5,000 a month off the government. So they don't need to make the $50,000. No, they're happy just making the $35,000, right? And that's what's going on here. And now, how is this possible that we got a bunch of illegal immigrants coming into our coming into our country, getting weapons? Well, there's a black market for weapons, yeah, but that doesn't account for it. Here's what's going on is, we got 100 illegal immigrants move over here into North Carolina, and North Carolina says, well, we're going to give you all these benefits, all this money, everything, so you can survive. And we know that, you need to get out here in the workforce eventually. It could be 3, 4, 5 years, but we're going to support you till then, but we know you're going to need a state ID. So even though we really don't know who a lot of you people are, we're going to give you the state ID. We don't need any kind of documentation to prove who you are and if you got a clean criminal record. But you just tell us who you are, and we'll give you a fresh, clean background with the state ID. And now, since we're giving you $5,000 a month per illegal, if you got 3 illegals living in a house and they're all getting $5,000 a month, well, now we can take the state ID with the clean criminal background record, and now, a lot of these counties, I don't know if the Supreme Court of the United States has come out with something on this, but I know some of the Supreme Courts in the states have said that, these people can legally buy firearms. Maybe that's how all these gangs are getting firearms. They're getting the firearms legally. They're getting the paperwork to say, hey, you can go down here to the local gun shop to buy firearms, and we're going to give you $5,000 a month to go buy all the firearms that you need. This is total communism. That's what it is. So now I'm going to tell you about my little town. My little town has a population of about probably about 42, 43,000 people now. Around 2020, it was like 39 something, but we've had a lot of people move here, so it's probably up to about 43, 44,000 here in my county. Down here at the local little town, I guarantee you, there probably might be, maybe, on a big hiring period at the top of the peak of the hiring period down here. Our little town probably has maybe 40 police officers, maybe 50 at the most, right? Now, around my county, our county is not a sanctuary county, but all the counties around us are all sanctuary counties. And I can tell you right now that these illegal migrants are coming here, they're making it here, they're setting up businesses here. In fact, I would say probably most of the businesses that have been created here in the last 4 years since Biden got in has been from the illegal immigrant population, all right? Now just think, if we got a criminal gang in the next county over, and they go look online and say, hey, you know what, they only got like 40 or 50 police people down there, on the best day. Well, we can go down there and we can just take 30 or 40 of us and we can go take over an apartment complex. We can go take over a store. We can probably even take over the courthouse if we have enough people. This town is not going to be able to handle it. It's not going to be able to handle it. And the way the government is set up now, because, the American people are basically foreigners in our own country and in our own state and in our own neighborhoods and counties and all this stuff. Just imagine if we did have, say, a gang of 50 hoods come down here, armed hoods come down here, and, all of them don't have to be armed with guns. You send down 50 people and 10 or 15 of them have a gun. Well, now you got a big force, and they come down here. And since we are out in the country, there's a lot of people with firearms, out here, Americans. And if everybody got word that this was going on and they all got their firearms and convened on this area and cleaned up the illegals, criminal gang is trying to take something over, then the government would probably throw you in jail. See, they can't throw the criminals in jail, but they can throw you in jail. See, that's where we're going here. So if you don't want this coming to your town, you better vote for Donald Trump. It's just that simple. Now, I don't have nothing against good migrants. I don't have nothing against them, you know. I do believe that we need to use legal immigration. I believe we could streamline that to be a little bit quicker, but the main thing is we just can't handle millions and millions and millions of people coming in every few months. We can't do it. We can't absorb it. It causes instability in our country. It causes the instability in our economy. You can't maintain a business when you don't know if there's going to be 100 people moving in here next week that's getting $5,000 a month from the government, and they want to take over your line of work here. And, you know, hey, we can work for free. We're getting $5,000 a month. We can work for free for a few months until we put the locals out of business. And then when everybody's gone except us, now we get to charge the big bucks. See, that's how this can work. Here's the deal, guys. It's the Democrats. It's the communist Democrats that have gone totally anti-American. They're out here wrecking our country, and then they try to say they love America. It's total bullshit. They even came out the other day and said, oh, we love the Constitution, but is the Constitution hurting America? Well, America is the Constitution. If you don't have the Constitution, you don't have America, dipshit. And that's why they're wanting to pack the courts and pack the Supreme Court, rig districts and everything else. And, you know, I honestly don't have many good words for the Republicans either, because they've been in on letting this illegal immigration go. They could have, you know, if it was me and I was in office, I would have been pounding this home and putting up every freaking bill I can or could to get this stopped and get that border closed the entire 4 years that I was there. And I know all the communist Democrats are going to say, well, the Republicans killed the immigration bill that was going to close down the border. Well, it wasn't going to close the border down, guys. That's what you're not getting. That's why they didn't go for it. It's not going to close the border down. In fact, it's going to be written permission to keep the border open and let 5,000 people in. Now, here's how that works. Say we got an area, Eagle Pass, and there's 8,000 people coming through there a day, and we want it in writing that we can let 5,000 in and no more. Well, okay, let's make that deal. Well, the problem is we can tell the other 3,000 that's coming in a day, that's just in this one area, and we can tell the other 3,000 people that want in, we can tell them, well, hey, here's a map of 2 or 3 or 4 other places where you can just come on in, and nobody's going to count you, and nobody's going to know, because we're in charge of keeping the stats. See, that's this government. They use the stats to lie to people, just like they lied about the jobs, that were created in the economy, and it came out a couple of weeks ago that the government lied month after month after month after month for a whole year, lying about all the jobs that have been created in the economy. And then when it came out, it was all totaled up. It was 818,000 jobs less than what they told us. And the fact is those were still rigged numbers. That's how they manipulate these statistics and the numbers involved in the economy here. They do this with everything. They do this with everything. Like Joe Biden tried to say, hey, I created 13 million new jobs. But the fact is that all those people got laid off. They didn't really get laid off. They were never out of a job. Because remember, during COVID, we had the Paycheck Protection Program, and the companies couldn't fire the people. And the government paid the companies to keep the people employed, but they just couldn't go to work. It was just like they were on paid leave. So they were all on paid leave. They were never out of work. And then after everything settled down and this and that and the other, and everybody went back to work, now Biden tried to take credit and lied and said, well, we created all these millions of jobs, but there was no new jobs created. It was just these people were just going back to work at their job that they had before. Now, they wrecked you. This is what they always do. They come in and they set policies that wreck you by bringing in people into your country by the tens of millions. They put them up. They give them every want, every need. They give them school. They give them the health care. They give them the free rent, the groceries, the food card, everything. They give them everything. And then act like these people are not harming the American people's economy. Like they can't, seem to grasp the notion that if, you put a bunch of people somewhere and you give them $5,000 a month and pay all their bills and give them free school and child care and everything else, for some reason they can't grasp the fact that some of these people are going to be able to displace the American workers. Now you could say, well, what if we were going to put these people up for the rest of their lives and give them $5,000 a month and everything they ever want and need? Then they wouldn't care about displacing the American workers because they wouldn't ever have to work. But They come in, and these people know they only have a limited amount of time, of 2, 3, 4 years, to get situated into some kind of job, business, whatever, and then the benefits are going to be cut off. So it only makes sense that these people are going to cut into the American workforce. And they can do it less, they can do it cheaper, really, they can even do it free. Now, what business can do it free? What business can go out here and send a man out here to work on your house for $15, $20 an hour and them still make money and stay in business and have insurance and have the reliable vehicles and the tools and everything else they need to stay in business? They got to pay the taxes and everything, right? You can't compete with somebody that don't need to make a paycheck. It's just a no-brainer. These people are intentionally wrecking our country. There's going to be a big price. So I think if you don't want this going on in your country, okay, I hate it. I really do. I hate it when a good person from another country, wants to come here for opportunities. The fact is these people are being bribed and being paid to come here. And then they're being put up. And let's be honest, when you're getting $5,000 a month and everything paid for, and you got, a food cart with $15,000 on it and all this stuff, and you have free reign and free roam and to do whatever you want, unlike the American people, and you can do that, and you're getting all this money, and then the Communist Democrats come up and they say, well, you know what, Donald Trump doesn't like what you're doing to the American people, the hard place that you're putting the American people in. I don't want to give somebody $5,000 a month to come in here and take over my life. I don't want to give somebody $5,000 and a free fast-track degree or certification or education that I'm having to pay for so they can come in here and work cheaper than me, take business from me, basically just take, it's like I'm basically paying these people to take over my life and my prosperity and my country. It makes absolutely no sense. So they bring them all in, and now these people are getting $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month, depending on the family size, right? And then the Communist Democrats come up and they text them on these free government phones and emails and all this with the translation apps. We probably got 80% of these people coming in from all over the world that don't know a stick of English or nothing else, and they don't know nothing about the American way. And these Communist Democrats are telling these people, don't trust the American people. They don't want you here and this, that, and the other. You got to stick in our little clique, and you got to trust us, and you got to believe us, and don't listen to nobody else. We're the ones that's giving you $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. So clearly, it shows that we care about you and we want the best for you. And if somebody wants you gone, well, they really hate you and they don't care about you. So the person that's in charge of all these people that hate you is Donald Trump, and he wants to make you leave. And if you don't want to leave, maybe you need to donate $200, $300, $400, $500 per month to the Communist Democrat Party so we can get our lawyers and get our politicians and everybody else. It costs a lot of money to get you staying, keep you here in the country. And we really got to have that money, because if we don't, Donald Trump's going to get in and you're going to lose all these benefits, and now you're going to be right back out in the wild, when many times these people didn't have it that bad where they were, but they were just bribed. They were just promised a land of gold. As soon as you get in here, we'll give you thousands and thousands of dollars. We'll give you a good education. We'll give you, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month. That sounds like a pretty good deal. If you don't know English, you don't know the American way, all you know is what these people have fed them. I'm sure when they were bribing them all to come here, they were probably telling them, oh yeah, America, yeah, we really need people to work bad and this, that, and the other, and the pay's really, really good and all this. And, we need people in our country so bad to work and do this and that and the other that we're going to pay you big bucks to come here. And they probably don't tell them at first, because it wouldn't make sense to say, hey, well, you know what, we need workers so bad in America and this, that, and the other, but, we got half the country is going to hate you and not like you. Well, that would probably be a deal breaker right there if you told them that. So they don't tell them that at first, and they bribe them and give them money and tell them about all the good stuff they're going to do for them and how it's going to be rainbows and unicorns and everything else at this, utopia. And then the more they start getting here, on the way, little by little, well, you know what, yeah, well, I forgot to tell you, there's a lot of Americans that don't want us giving you a bunch of money and paying you to come into America. So you better not trust Americans, you better just stick with us. And since you don't know English and you don't know the American way, you don't know the political system, you don't know how the economic free market works and all this stuff, you can only trust us. And if you want to, stay here, you want to, prosper, we're not going to tell you that we're stealing the American people's money and doing all this for you, and the real plan is for you, for us to give you their money, and for you to go in and take over the American way of life and put a bunch of Americans out of work. We're not going to tell you that, right? And that's what's going on. That's the big picture. That's the plan. That's what's going on. Kamala Harris is sitting here saying she's going to fix the border. Well, she's been saying she's going to fix the border now for how long? 6 weeks she's been saying she's going to fix the border. Was the border fixed? No, the border's not fixed. It's all a bunch of bullshit. These people are communists. Communists will look you in the eye and lie right to your face. You go on X and see all these Kamala supporters out here. What are they doing? They're out here churning out lie after lie after lie after lie about Donald Trump. Many things that have been debunked and disproven years ago. I mean, some of these people are even pushing Russian collusion narrative that has been debunked for over, almost 3 years now. And they're just lying and lying and lying. How can they get away with all the lies, all the slander? Well, because the Communist Democrat Party, which is really backed by the big-time Communist Party, the Red China Communist Party, and all these billionaires and all these tech giants and all these people, they're being funded, and they have networks of lawyers that will go in and work for free. I'm sure when these Venezuelan gangs, if they finally arrest all 30 of the people that was involved in that, then I'll probably guarantee you that the Communist Democrat Party will have judges and lawyers and attorney generals and prosecutors and all these people already set up to just let them go without bail. And they have the paid for lawyers. They got all this stuff the Communist Democrat Party is paying for. They are communists. There is a gang. This is a worldwide global movement against, 200 million Americans that want to have a country here. That's what we got. We got trillions of dollars backing these communist groups that want to get rid of America. They want to stomp out freedom and liberty from every facet of this earth. There's no way around it, guys. So I got a video. You can go in my watch list there. I got a video I put out months ago about the 30 years anniversary of illegal immigration and open borders and how they're getting the people here and da-da-da. And you've probably seen all the Darien Gap videos, all the videos of, all the government, the sheriffs that came out and found all the debit cards that they're giving the illegals as soon as they get over the border. That's got 5,000 on it. And then there was a lady that found the receipt where the government had given an illegal $20,000 debit card for food. You've seen online, you've seen where the government, Kamala Harris herself, is wanting to give $25,000 to first-time home buyers, and a lot of those people, in order to qualify, you're going to have to be a member of the Communist Democrat Party, and you're probably going to have to be an illegal. And in California, they're wanting to give them $150,000 to buy a home as a down payment. And they run these scams, and they never tell you, you never hear. Right up here in Raleigh, North Carolina, in Durham, North Carolina, the government is actively building houses, building condos, building apartments. I think around here they're got in the next couple of years they're going to build like 4,200 apartments, condos, and single-family homes, and we've only got a population of 40,000 people, so that's a 10% increase. Now, there ain't many people I know around here that's 20, 25, 30 years old that have $80,000 for a down payment on a house. No. So who's going to be buying all these units? Is it going to be people moving from the illegal immigrant sanctuary cities moving here like they've been moving here? Already established older people that, are in their late 50s, early 60s now, and they're sick and tired of the communist crap in the cities. They're sick and tired of all the crime. They're sick and tired of all the high taxes. They're sick and tired of all the rules and regulations. And so they move down here. Are we going to have a lot more of that? Or is it going to be a bunch of illegals getting these places? So, there's no law enforcement. That's the thing. Why? It's like the law enforcement can only enforce the law against the American people. When you see a car pulled over and they got 4 illegals in the car and there's no tag on the car, there's no insurance on the car, there's no paperwork, registration, there's no inspection, there's nothing on the car that can even prove that the car belongs to these people that's driving it, and they get pulled over, and you hear, because, well, your inspection sticker is 2 days past due, so we need you to pull over here so we can give you a ticket. And then you can hear the police on the radio talking to the illegal immigration ICE enforcement place, and they come back and they tell the cops, well, we don't know if the car's stolen, we don't have insurance, these people don't have a license, there's nothing on the car. proving that it's not stolen, whatever. But you got to let them go. You got to give them the keys back, and you got to let them get in the car, and you got to let them go their merry way on down the road, and they let them go, and then they come over to you because you're right behind them, and they come over to you and they go, well, you know what, Mr. CJ Real, your inspection sticker's been out for 2 days, and we got to give you a $189 ticket. See? Well, those guys, they were in a car, and it didn't have a tag, it didn't have a registration, it didn't have an inspection sticker, they didn't have a driver's license, but you just let them go. And you give me a $189 ticket. And you want to tell me this is your country? You want to tell me that the Communist Democrats care about America? You want to tell me that the Communist Democrats give a crap about the American people? And they always want to come back and say, well, it's the healthcare, it's the healthcare, it's the healthcare. Well, you know what? If you wasn't stealing all my money, if you wasn't stealing all my prosperity, if you wasn't persecuting me because I'm an American and you're bankrupting me, then you know what? Those $2,000 or $3,000 worth of medical bills that I got, I could probably pay off, but not when I can't pay my mortgage, when I can't pay my power bill, when I can't buy groceries, when I can't get my car fixed. How the hell am I going to pay a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 medical bill when I can't even feed my damn self because of you communist scum? So if you don't want your kids going to war, if you don't want your kids living with you when they're 40 years old, if you don't want your kids being persecuted by the government because they were born in America, if you don't want to lose everything you got, if you don't want to pay people to come into your country and wreck your lives and basically steal your country, then you better vote for Donald Trump. And that's the facts. All right, that's what I got for you on this one. We'll catch you on the next one. You've been listening to the CJ Rail Show.